just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Pack Her Up, boys. It's time, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, it doesn't get much better. It doesn't get much better if you're listening on the way home from work. You've been working your ass off. You know, the boss is on your back. You've been putting in the hard yakka. Reward yourself with a beer. You've earned it. Enjoy. Just stop thinking about all of life's worries because, you know, you're alive. You're healthy. That's a win. That's a massive win. And it's the weekend. So let go of the stresses of work. Sit back. Relax. Life is okay. You're living, breathing, and you're happy. And the sun is out. But before we get into it, Beer, Food, and Footy Festival. That is right. Bloke will be at the Beer, Food, and Footy Festival. What is it? It's at Henson Park in Marrickville. Basically, a huge day with all different food vendors, all different local independent breweries where you can go and test beer and eat food whilst watching rugby league. Newtown Jets will be playing Manly. It is an epic day. In the show notes, you'll be able to get tickets. Make sure to grab the tickets before they sell out because Henson Park, it doesn't seat 1 million people. Once they hit capacity, boom, no more tickets. It's such a great day. And we always talk about, you know, the nostalgia of like old school local footy. This is what it is about. Old school local footy, historic ground, beers, food, and a bit of rugby league, a bit of music. There's games and stuff. Everything is going on. It's a great, great festival. Get your tickets. What's the website? Do you got the website there?
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yep.
It's just on Oztick,
Yep.
on Oztick. But you can, if you Google beer, footy, and food festival, all the information comes up. I'll link everything in the show notes. But yeah, I went maybe 2 years ago. It's just an awesome day.
It's old school footy.
It is. It's seriously like Newtown Jets, Henson Park. It's a great afternoon, and it gets bigger and bigger each year.
It gets bigger each year, so it's one of those things. Like, where else can you get that kind of experience?
You
Where you
can't.
get a good game of rugby league, you got all the festives around it, and the food. So we'll be there. I'll be there myself, pouring bloke beer. So get down, get your tickets, and let's make it the biggest one ever. Don't forget Bloke Hoodies. They go on sale Monday, 6 p.m. We're getting a lot of good feedback, guys. So as I've said since the start, we've ordered a smaller quantity than we normally order. So limited numbers. Be there at 6 p.m. because they're going to fly off the shelves.
I know like marketing these days is like, you know, Google marketing or numbers and stuff. But my version of marketing is every week going down to OzTag, wearing something different and seeing how many people get around it.
Yeah.
And I wore this one the other day and everyone was like, oh, sick, mad jumper.
I actually, even today, this morning, Webby was like, mate, like Andrew Webster, doing Morning Glory with Matty Johns, he was like, mate, that's your best jumper. I love that. He actually asked for one, so I'll try to get Webby one. But yeah, so that is 6 p.m. Monday. But let's just get straight into it, shall we? Sharks defeat the Dragons. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dragons, absolutely. And what's sad about the performance is they actually started so well. Like, you're going, oh, wow, if they can keep this up, they genuinely could win the match. And then just completely capitulated. I think it's, 2 weeks in a row, 40-point losses, as in 40 points scored on them?
Yeah, so there was 48 against the Warriors last Friday, and then 6 days later, 52, whatever it was. So that's 100 points in 2 weeks.
Very, very tough position for the club to be in. Sharkies, I mean, they did exactly what you would hope they would do. That's why they were favourites. I mean, that's why Dragons are paying $6.70. And what's crazy, in that first 40, I'm sitting there going, I thought that was value in $6.70, which kind of, it didn't prove our point because they ended up getting it towed up. But it proved that, like, you know, $6.70, at least for 40 minutes, definitely wasn't the correct score. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's in the correct value.
Yeah.
So... yeah, I felt like I had a win in the first half where I'm going, yes, that's a great call value.
Especially when they score in the first minute of the game.
Yeah, and then I get absolutely plowed in the second half and you go, oh, okay, that's why that was $6.70. So, yeah, the Sharks defeat the Dragons. We'll talk about Sharkies first. I just loved Nico Hines' game. You know, he had that one little maybe poor pass to start off. I think it was to Talakai or one of the centres. And then outside of that, he was absolutely electrifying. The tough thing, and the Sharkies fans will agree with this, and I hate to be a Debbie Downer, the tough thing for the Sharks is, though, is that, like, we know they can do this.
Yeah, I know.
We know they can do this. It's against the big dog sides we want to see them step up. And so thinking about what I would talk about in regards to the performance, like, I don't want to be Debbie Downer, like Sharkies fans that are coming off this huge win, and they start listening to the podcast and like, oh, here we go. Like, negative. You want to celebrate it. So what I'm going to do is just put it out there. We're aware that the top 8 sides, they still have, struggle against them, but they did absolutely look electric.
Yeah.
Electric in attack.
With the ball in hand.
Yeah.
They were fantastic.
So if they can sort the defence, like,
and even last night, like their defense wasn't amazing. Like they missed a couple of,
Yeah.
So
if they can sort their defense, though, the positive is their attack is
So
unbelievable. Like, just the silkiness of their plays, their confidence, their timing of their runs. Like, it's similar-ish to when the Rabbitohs are at full flight.
Yeah.
It's that silky. That's silky. So, really, really good. I'd love to see Nicho Hynes, he struggled against the Storm in that big pressure game. He hasn't allowed it to, like, completely derail his season. He comes back out and, 3 try assists and a try, 3 line break assists, like an incredible performance.
Yeah, that Origin 10 minutes or whatever, we all know what happened, and then the Storm game, that's enough to kill someone's season.
For sure. We've seen seasons derailed plenty of times.
Bloody oath. Like, I hate to bring up examples because it's so mean, but like a great player like Brett Kamali, like he threw an intercept.
Yeah.
And apparently he struggled to throw right to left the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So like just, Origin can really kill you. Next week when Nicho played that Storm game, he had a Barry Crocker and you're thinking, oh no, but yeah, since then he's been great.
Yeah, and it just shows you the mental resilience that he can, all right, struggle, like had his issue in Origin in 10 minutes out of position. Then he goes and has an issue against the Storm. He has a mental resilience to go, I'm still willing to throw the tough pass, which is a really good trait to have. And I just got to keep reminding people, we're watching him in his second year at 7.
It's easy to forget.
Everyone forgets that. Because he won Dally M, he's automatically, one of the best 7s in the game. We are forgetting it's his second year at 7. We speak about it ad nauseum. Ad nauseum. Every 7 you speak to Joey, Cooper Cronk, they all say, mate, I barely knew the game until I was like 28. Like in regards to where their potential, they only felt comfortable when they got to 27, 28.
Yeah.
Nicho Hynes, 26 now?
He's 27 now, yeah. But
he's 27
he's a late bloomer.
That's what I was to say. He's late bloomer. And again, only his second year in that position. So, when he hits his, 30 years old, it is going to be scary to be able to see what he's able to do.
It's pretty remarkable. And like, it probably wasn't spoken enough about how crazy it is that someone went into the most important position on the field, arguably, or one of them, and in their first year won the Dally M. It doesn't really get spoken about.
It doesn't get spoken about. Like, first year at 7, wins a Dally M.
And also his first year in first grade. Like
first full year.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy when you think about it.
He's at Storm. He still was in and out sometimes. That year before he had like 1 or 2 games off.
He took Pappenhausen's spot in like round whatever. Played the 10 games, and then Paps came back, and then he was moving around. Yeah, So he wasn't
starting main guy. So absolutely amazing. Yeah, I loved Hines' game. You know who else I just think is getting better and better, and it's sneaking up on everyone? Blake Brayley.
Oh, he was great last night.
He is really starting to show the benefit of consistent rugby league week in, week out for the last few years.
Yeah, 100%.
Like 24 years old, probably around there?
Yeah, he's pretty young.
Another guy that if he keeps, progressing the way he is, it's great for New South Wales.
Yeah.
It really is. Now, Reece Robson's probably got the jump on everyone at the moment, but Blake Brayley, geez, he's been playing consistent footy for a very long time.
He's been awesome. His craftiness out of dummy half is incredible. That that he's got that early kick, which he puts in to give the Sharks good position. That crafty play he did to put Talakai over. I was looking at the stats before. The only knock on him, and he's obviously a small guy. He does miss tackles here and there sometimes. Against Brisbane, he missed a couple, but last night he didn't miss a single one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a bad defender though.
No.
For example, I honestly think Appy is probably a worse defender than Blake Brayley.
Yeah.
But obviously Appy's a better 9. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah,
but so it's just at 9. Obviously, in a perfect world, you'd want them to miss 0 tackles.
Yeah.
But I think when you're a guy like Blake Brayley, especially now that he's starting to add on the craftiness around dummy half, you can afford to, if he misses 3 or 4 tackles in a game, that's okay. That's not a big deal. Like, if he's missing bloody, how many minutes against the Broncos?
I think it was like 6 or something.
So not too bad.
Yeah.
I personally have never looked at Brayley's stats and gone, oh, fuck me, 8 missed tackles or whatever. Now, look, I'm sure a Sharkies fan can point to a game or whatever.
Yeah, it might be.
But I don't watch Blake Brayley's game and think defence is a problem.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and that's pretty incredible for quite a small fella.
Yeah.
In his 100th game already, I am really excited to see his development. Again, he's just flying under the radar. He never gets spoken about.
He always has been.
But he's 100 games already. He's 100 games since debuting. Barely misses any rugby league. Barely injured. Barely plays below a 7 out of 10. Like, you don't really see Blake Brayley play a bad game.
No.
At the same time, do you see him play 10 out of 10 game like a Harry Grant? No, not yet. And will he ever get there? Maybe not. But how comfortable Brayley's going to get with all this rugby league under his belt, by the time he hits 150 to 200 games, I think we're going to see more and more, because it's been 2 weeks in a row now where he's had a try assist through his craftiness.
Yeah.
And I just think that he's getting more confident, getting more used to the combinations with Nico Hines. On top of that, he's with Nico Hines, one of the most dominant ball players in the competition. So a lot of the time, he's just feeding him the ball and not deciding what to do. He's just saying, Hines, you take it, I step back. So once they get the balance of, and he gets the confidence to go, well, Hines, I'm not giving you a ball because I can see something, then he'll get even better.
Yeah, I mean, he came through with Freese Robson. I remember he in like all those junior teams, like Robson would be at 9 and Brayley would be at 14, or vice versa. And I don't know. To me, it seems like Brayley's. I don't think Robson's hit 100 games.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so he's done well to like really, because remember how he had to step. His brother pretty much had to leave
for him.
So that's a lot of pressure in itself, and he's dramatically improved since then. And as we said before, he's very complete as a hooker. He's got a lot of good attributes. So yeah, he's awesome.
Another bloke I want to talk about, the big Tommy Hazelton.
I love it. Is that 2 in 2 weeks?
2 in 2 weeks, the big fella. And he came on, once again, massive impact. I remember, I think we saw him in the trials.
Yep.
And I was like, who is this big fella? Just a big, bending the line constantly. Now, he's not as big as Nelson Asafa Solomona, but he does play a similar role, where as soon as he gets on, he skittles defenders. And he's clearly becoming a cult hero. He really does shift momentum. I'm loving Tommy Hazelton. At the moment, we obviously got more games to go. At the moment, he's in my team of the week.
Yeah. Me too.
He was great. Really good.
There's a lot of contenders last night. The Sharkies are awesome.
So Tommy Hazelton, and he's another guy. I'm not sure how old he is, but he hasn't been playing first grade for long.
No.
Imagine, let's say, 2 years down the track, he fills out a bit more. He is going to be a fucking good player, I reckon. A really damaging player.
He's done well as well, because the Sharkies, I guess this year, have been where they've been cruelled the most is their front row when it comes to injuries. Like Hamlin, they can't stop being injured, unfortunately. Toby Rudolph's injured. There's one more, but I think Royce Hunt was injured for a bit, so he's done well to really step in and make an impact.
Man, I love him. I think he's fantastic.
See, when he came off the field last night, the whole crowd was chanting his name, and he was like so embarrassed about it.
Who, Tommy Hazelton?
Yeah, they were chanting Tommy when he was sitting on the bench.
That's the best.
Braden Hamlin-Wille was like G'ing him up. It was awesome.
That's so good. He deserves it, mate. He's a fun player to watch. He rips and tears. Another bloke, defensively, I think Moylan's probably always going to struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
But geez, he was good in attack.
He was awesome.
Far out, he had a good rugby league
he had
game.
3 tries as well last night.
Yeah, and he just had a hand in all their goods. He just seemed very. He's obviously confident. He's been around forever, but he just seemed to step towards the game, I think, a little bit more than usual. He really, rather than just being the serviceman to Hines, even though he did that as well, I think it just seemed like he wanted to stamp his authority on the game a bit more than usual. He's been the support player for a year or so now, whereas last night, I thought it was one of his better games. I really did. Now, I know the Dragons weren't great at all in the second half, but I mean, we can only talk about what happened in front of us. We can't sit here and just go, who cares? Let's not talk about anything positive that the Sharks did because the Dragons are so poor.
Yeah, but it's not like the Dragons, people have been putting 52 on the Dragons each week. Like, the Dragons have been in, I know they're not, I know they're probably getting worse and they're having a really bad year, but teams haven't been doing this to the Dragons all year. The Sharkies at one point this year were the best attack in the comp. And I agree with you with what you said before. I actually reckon the Sharks have the best, like, wing to wing, like their slickness.
Yeah.
I reckon it could be better than South because South are like really, really slick on the left and pretty good on the right, but I reckon just wing to wing the Sharkies. So
yeah, they just got to sort defence out
for sure.
That's it. Britton Nikota, once again, outstanding.
I think
Getting better and better.
Yeah, I was discussing this last night with a couple of people. The Dally M team of the year. Is there anyone even close to him and Fafita when it comes to the back row at the moment? Because everyone that's been close has been out for a bit. I mean, you could say Olakau'atu too. Preston, that's a good one. Didn't think of him too.
Like, I reckon Preston might be up there.
Yeah, definitely.
He's been so bloody good for the Bulldogs.
He's awesome.
I'm trying to think. So Nanai injured, Fafita locker in.
Fafita
in. Kick out is obviously injured.
Kolomatangi got injured.
Olakau'atu. I think Olakau'atu would be there or thereabouts because of his start in good form.
Yeah.
And he seems to be coming back into that form. But you're right. I mean, Nikota might genuinely be a smoky for it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other back rowers. Jordan Riki's been solid this year, but not like points, more just like really good at doing defensive.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and unfortunately for him, he's out
injured. Who else you got? Yeah, it's a great point. I'm trying to think. Papali'i from the Tigers. He's been good. Bateman.
Oh, Johnny Bateman.
Bateman.
Yeah,
he'll probably be there.
Yeah.
It's probably, at the moment, I'd say Fafita and Bateman.
Yeah.
Or Fafita and... It's either Fafita and Bateman or Fafita and Papali'i.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you actually go and watch the games and watch how much work Papali'i gets through...
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. And you watch how Bateman... But I wouldn't say Nikota is... like further behind. I'd say probably equal to him, to be honest. Like, he's been fucking good.
He's been awesome. He's the lines he runs is wild.
And his defense.
He
consistently heavy contact. So great stuff for the Sharkies to get the win. Now the test is A, it's about beating the top 8 side, but B, about consistency. It really is about... They basically want to be building towards their next top 8 game so that when they arrive at that top 8 game, they rip and tear and prove to themselves that they can do it.
Yep.
Dragons, on the other hand. Unfortunately, the club is just in shambles at the moment.
I think it's a reflection of what's going on. Like, they were losing games at the start of the year, but at least they were in the games. It's just not happening for them because of all these dramas at the moment.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you know hindsight's easy to sit here and say what if this or what if that, but you wonder like, okay, I do believe it was time for them to part ways with Anthony Griffin, but would they have been better served letting him see the season out for a bit of stability? Because like, who's going to want to go to the Dragons right now?
Yeah,
like recruitment for them has already been tough. Imagine how it's going to be next year.
Yeah.
Because Ben Hunt's not going to be there next year.
No.
Like, let's be honest. Now, look, Gus Gould's come out and he reckons it's all going to fizzle out and he's going to stay. I don't think... I'd be shocked.
I think that statement they put out on Monday was very... Let's just push this back a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Band-Aid type situation.
Well, especially with what Ben Hunt said. He didn't say, I'm seeing my contract out.
He said, I'm going to focus on the game.
But you know what? Gus knows more about rugby league than me.
Yeah,
I personally... Knowing, yeah. I mean, look, I thought I knew Dozer before. I thought he would never ask for a release, but I just can't see him going, oh, no, I want to stay.
Nah.
I just can't see it. I really can't. And unfortunately, with that roster at the moment, I don't see success in the next year or two. I really don't.
No.
Even with Flano there, and if he does turn it around, unbelievable in Flano.
I reckon he'll turn it around, but he's not going to turn it around in 12 months.
That's what I mean. It's going to take at least 24 months to turn it around.
For sure.
I think it's going to take roster cleanouts, management of the roster, everything like that. So the Dragons, just feel sorry for them. And they just like, even the press conference with the coach and that and Benny, they far out. They look dejected. As they, that's good that you see that they can care. But that left edge defense for Dragons, like, that was really poor.
Yeah.
And so I don't know whether, was it wrong to put Fainai in at centre with another, Monga. I don't know if you say Monga or Malga.
I think it's Monga.
Monga.
I think.
Because Polynesian, what nationality? What is he?
I'm not sure.
Could you check
I'll
what
Google
nationality
it,
he is? Because Samoa. Sorry. So you've got.
He's Samoan.
Samoan. So it would be Monga. I'm pretty sure.
I think I've heard Monga.
Because like Isaac Tungo.
Yeah.
And he's Samoan.
He's Samoan.
So Monga, probably.
Monga.
So to put like a rookie winger with a fringe first grader on an edge, and I know Sully's injured, I do.
Yeah, he's concussed.
But surely there's other players that you could put together because they just look lost.
Well, the prime example was
and Sullivan inside them too.
Was Sullivan, Jesse Raymond's try where he caught the bomb, and Monga, and so Fengai was like didn't go to it because he was trying to block it, and Monga thought that he was trying, and there was just no communication. And Raymond just went up uncontested.
It's definitely a winger's catch there because he's running towards it. I know the centre's closer, but you've got the run up. You've got the run up.
Yeah.
So and like with an edge of Sullivan, Monga, Sullivan, Fainai, Monga. Apologies if we're saying that wrong. We'll look like idiots if we are. And then you got Sewer, I think, as well on the inside. Super young. Like, Sewer obviously, he's established, but Sullivan, Fainai, Monga, like, I look at their squad and I'm like, surely you've got like an older veteran centre in there in your squad that can. But maybe they don't. Maybe they're stuck with injury.
I mean, even like, I know Jack Bird's in the forwards, but even he was injured. You can't even put him there just for a week. Like,
so maybe you got to cut him a bit of slack that they had so many injuries.
Yeah.
Because like, just too many inexperienced players that have never played together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they've played barely any rugby league together. But some of the decisions were just. I always like, and it's not like I'm some heroic defender like at all, but I always with the mind of like, look, if we're like haven't played much rugby league together, let's just settle on a system and all agree that no matter what, we just do that. Even if it looks like for example, I would have personally said to Monga, Fainai, Sullivan and Sewer, let's just jam every play. Let's just jam every play. And I know that sounds a bit crazy. Maybe it's a bit of a gamble, but at the very least, each player, before the play even happens, picks their man and just goes to him. Whereas when you haven't played together, you're making these decisions with no experience. So you don't have time to be able to judge, like, is he jamming in? Is he not jamming in? Whereas when you've played a couple of years together, like, for example, when I played with Darius Boyd, like, I knew when Darbs was going in. Like, I knew it. And so I think with, like, new partnerships, especially in that situation, you just got to pick, boys, when we get inside our 20-metre mark, no matter what, it's just up and jam, and then cover defense.
Yeah.
And if they throw the long ball over the top or they kick, good on them.
So be it, yeah.
Good on them. Whereas this idea of like 50-50 of like, oh, well, let's just see how we go, and like I'll go up and slide and you jam in. It's a recipe for disaster, as we saw last night. So I'm a bit surprised that they didn't just go, because it just simplifies everything. Put it this way. Even when we were always taught anyway at the Broncos, inside your 10, it's up and in pretty much all the time. When they're coming out of their own end, it's up and slide because you've got meterage to work with. So, I was a little bit surprised that they weren't just picking their man and just going towards it. And pre-deciding before the play happens who their man is and then just go. Because that's hard to attack against. It really is hard to attack against. Yes, you have to throw the long ball, and yes, you might have a two-man overlap, but not as easy as it's said as done. And also, if you've got team working from the inside, if you let's say you're on your line and you get up to the 10-metre line, so you get 10 metres, you give your inside men time to get across and tackle. How many times we see Queensland on the game one? They'd shoot up. Like, there was a period where Munster tackled Isaiah Yeo.
Yeah.
So that what they would do is they would shoot up, and then the inside trail, because they got so much line speed, the inside trail had enough time to get to the wing. What did we see? We saw the Tuolangi try saver, but who helped? One of the other players helped him, I'm pretty sure. Someone got across to help him. Anyway.
There was a few Tuolangi try savers.
So basically what it is like your wing... Sorry, your 3, 2, and 1, which is your 7, 3, and 2 or whatever, as in 7 wing center winger, get up like as fast as they can. They pick their man, and then as soon as the ball passes the wide running forward, the lock and wide running forward just get straight in behind the line. Right. Just start straight away, so that if it does go over the top, they get to the winger before he gets to. So that's what I would have kind of suggested, because that left side was just, it destroyed him, unfortunately. Felt sorry. I really did feel sorry for him there. So look, I think it's just going to be a tough year for the Dragons. I don't see it getting any better anytime soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, me too.
Now, Sports Bet Tracker. Talk about one of the great friggin'
I love it.
features. Holy heck.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is so good. Sportsbet Tracker. Now with Sportsbet, you can track the progress of your same-game multi with the tracker feature. There's no need to switch between the apps to find stats, numbers relevant to your multi. Everything is in one place on Sportsbet app. There are also brand new markets you can track, including total player points scored and player A or B to score a try. Follow your multi the easy way with Sportsbet, new NRL, same-game multi-tracker, only with Sportsbet. Download the Sportsbet app today. Great feature.
It just looks good. Like when you got your same game multi.
It's almost fun.
It is, because it's like a little race.
Yeah. So you see, like, and it's like it's almost like gamifying where you're seeing a bar fill up.
That's it.
To a degree.
That's it. Yeah.
It's
So like if
good.
you got like say last night you had Hines 10 plus points.
Yeah.
He scores the first or the second try, whatever, and then it's on 6. And you're just like, and then you're comparing it to if you had Ben Hunt 4 points, and it's just great. It's so easy to follow, and it's good.
Great app. As always, though, guys, gamble responsibly. Don't punt money you do not have, guys. Be smart about it. Just a little here and there. You win some, but you lose more. All right, let's get into our tips. Warriors $1.58, Rabbitohs $2.40. Now, bit of word coming out. Munro, a young gun, is going to debut. I saw some highlights of him. Quite a tall lad.
Tall and quick.
If he plays well, he'll immediately get the Latrell GI comparisons. So, which I see that as such a compliment.
Oh, bloody oath.
Like, I see it as such a compliment. Anyway, we'll wait to see how he plays first, obviously.
If he does play, because when Guru posted it, I think the team hadn't been chopped yet, and now it's been announced that Tass is out. So I don't know if they're going to put a rookie winger / fullback somewhere in the team and then put somewhere else at centre. So I'm not 100% sure if he's going to play.
Okay, but wasn't he named 18th man?
He's still 18th man, so he's every chance. Chance.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll throw him in an hour before kick-off. But as it stands, I think they put did they put Tane at centre? I think they put Tane at centre at the moment. So I'm not 100% sure he's playing. But
But wasn't he going to replace Kenner?
Yeah, so that's possible as well.
Yeah.
But now I'm wondering, now that Tass is out, are they going to throw 2 new guys in there? Maybe, they might. But I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so at the start of the year, destroyed Jersey Flag. He's played Cup last month.
Yep. Has he been going well in Cup?
According to what I've watched and what people say, like a lot of people watch the junior grades that I speak to, and they say he's just ready for it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Exciting. I'm going the Warriors, though. Paying $1.58. Rabbitohs $2.40.
Yep.
I wouldn't say value, but
Rabbits are every chance.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far to say value, but it's decent. It's decent.
Yeah, I don't think I'm tipping Warriors too, but I think it should be closer than that.
Yeah, because you've got to remember this is a Rabbitohs side that the drums are beating in regards to, boys, you've been really bad. Like, the pressure and headlines are starting to become like, are the Rabbitohs gone?
Yeah.
And so when that starts happening, it's like a bounce back game is about to happen.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when.
You're right. That defense stuff kind of flew under the radar until that Cowboys game. Now everyone's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. So they can't really put it this way. I think for a few weeks they could still rely on, look how great our start of the season was. Yep. They can't rely on that anymore.
Definitely not anymore, yeah.
Okay, Storm paying $1.85, Penrith Panthers $2. You know what's crazy? I'm actually pretty confident the Storm win this one.
I'm on Melbourne too.
Yeah.
I'm on Melbourne too.
And I'm sure I'm gonna live to regret those words. But without Cleary going down to Melbourne at Marvel Stadium, Melbourne have looked much, much better. They got arrested Cameron Munster coming back into the side.
Yep.
I think we might see a good performance from Melbourne.
I'm going Melbourne as well. Cleary out, you're right down there. I reckon if Cleary was in, I'd probably still go Melbourne. Just they're the top 2 teams at the moment. Yeah, I'm going Storm. I am beyond excited for Friday Night Footy tonight. 2 absolute crackers. I can't wait.
Now Raiders $1.63, Titans $2.28. I am torn on this one.
Me too. Yep.
$2.28 for the Titans, especially the way they played last week. I don't mind it. And Raiders are just so like, you don't know. Like they could get in a dogfight and lose, or they could get in a dogfight and win by 2 points. You just don't know. I'm going to stick with Raiders because it's at home. But
and I don't think the Titans have played well away this year.
Yeah, and but as I said, I'm going Raiders, but don't be surprised if this Titans that maybe we do have the new look Titans on our hands. Cowboys,
I'm going Titans actually. Yeah.
You're going to go Titans?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go Raiders. Cowboys, Tigers. Cowboys $1.13, Tigers $6.05. Honestly, because they're missing Appy and Brooks, it's just like it'd be one of the great wins if they win. Yeah. Seriously,
it'd be better than their 60-point win.
Seriously, unbelievable. And also, like, you don't think the Cowboys after losing 60 points to the Tigers aren't going to be fucking fuming?
Yeah.
So I reckon Cowboys in for a big one here.
Yeah, and then obviously Cowboys need wins. Like they're playing really, really well, but they have some catching up to do to get back to that top 8, top 4. So
Broncos v the Dolphins. Broncos $1.34, $3.27 for the Dolphins. This is the value bet. The $3.27 for Dolphins.
Oath's value.
Wayne Bennett, he's done more with less.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he would have been looking at this matchup for the last month with it circled, going, cannot wait.
What are they paying the Dolphins?
$3.27.
So without Walsh,
without Ricky,
and without Flegler.
So there's a bit of value there. But obviously, I'm picking the Broncos, but I don't agree with the $1.34, $3.27.
No chance.
I know the Dolphins have lost like 3 in a row or whatever it is, but this is a local derby with a Wayne Bennett coach side.
Oh, they always it's like South Roosters. Doesn't matter what the form is. Have you seen as well? I love this. The Broncos media and their website. They've been calling him Redcliffe all week in all their articles.
Oh, that's great.
It's so funny.
That's so good.
I love that. They're just building this hate rivalry.
Yep.
It's awesome. I'm tipping Broncos, but if Dolphins win, not even a percentile of me will be shocked.
Yeah, because just like this Dolphins side, you have to remember they nearly beat them when they had everything go against them, and that was 6 to 8 weeks ago. So yeah, Dolphins. That's the value for me.
That's right. That was a bloody.
Is it only the last 10 minutes?
We're in Cairns. Yeah, that was awesome.
But yeah, I'm going Broncos, but don't be surprised with that. Canterbury Bulldogs versus Knights. Look, I'm going Knights here because the Canterbury Bulldogs, unfortunately, they just decimated.
It's been a sad year for them.
Unfortunately, they just got so unlucky with so many injuries to their roster.
I'm Knights as well.
So I just think the Knights get the job done here. Manly v the Roosters. Really tough one.
Tough one, yeah.
Really tough one. I think I might have gone the Roosters. I'm not sure, but Manly at home. This is a really tough one. I keep thinking the Roosters are going to turn it around, but with each week that goes by, I go, yeah, you know what? There's some changes that need to be made at the Roosters, but oh man, you know what? I'll stick to it. Sydney Roosters upset.
Yeah, I don't know who should be favourites, who shouldn't. I'm going Roosters. It's only because Turbo's out. It's got nothing to do with the Roosters. I don't know though, but I'll go Roosters.
All right. Taylor Swift tickets. Oh my God. If you ever thought FOMO didn't exist anymore, you're kidding yourself. Look, I love Taylor Swift. I think she's so talented, incredible. But we're acting like this is her last ever performance and you'll never get to see her again in your life. So many people have been staring at the Ticketek screen hoping to get tickets. More than 4 million people have tried to get pre-sale tickets. It's an Australian record. 800,000 were logged in and were waiting before the pre-sale tickets went online. What I don't get with this one is that, okay, when you work on there's 21 million people in the country.
26, yeah.
Okay, 26 now. 4 million of them. That's like 20% or whatever.
It's a significant amount of...
That's like...
4, 8, 12, 16, 20...
15% of It's about 15% of the country's population.
Outrageous.
How does that make sense?
Outrageous.
How does it make sense? You know how it makes sense, Matty?
Yeah.
There's a lot of undercover Swifties rolling around because the age demographic of 13 to 30-year-old females is not 4 million people.
Oh, bloody oath it's not. 100%.
So, and look, maybe it is. Maybe my math's terrible, but... There's a lot of undercover Swifties rolling around this country that maybe just need to get some fucking courage and admit you're a Swiftie.
Well, I was one of those 4 million people. I didn't get any tickets though.
I when I saw it on like Channel 9 or whatever saying like the tickets pre-sale's gone live,
Yeah.
I logged on for about 30 seconds and then I said, nah,
This
no
ain't
chance.
happening.
I said, you know what? I am not sitting here for the next day to get tickets for 2024. I mean, geez, the world could end before then.
That was funny.
And I'll say sucked into all the Swiftie tickets. Yeah, you bought them, you dickheads. Everyone on their Instagrams going, yeah, I got Taylor Swift tickets. Yeah, well, joke's on you. The world fucking ended. So fuck you.
Isn't it crazy how it basically stopped the country? Like there was so many people who took off work or just couldn't work. I won't say the name because we're not sponsored with them yet, but I was speaking to someone we're about to go with today, and we're on the phone for about 15 minutes, and we're both like, oh yeah, we're both like in the queue for Taylor Swift tickets.
Unbelievable.
Like, it's crazy.
It's like a mind virus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, let's say there's a core of like, let's just say 1 million. Let's be fully generous and say 1 million people want to go to this concert in Australia. 3 million people are only wanting to go because everyone else wants
That's
to go.
so true.
Yeah, it's impossible. There's no other way to explain
Yeah.
it. Like a lot of these people wouldn't even know most of her songs.
No, they wouldn't be able to name
Like,
albums and stuff.
15% of the country's population.
It's ridiculous.
You know what? You talk. I'll try and work out the exact percentage.
Yeah.
Because
But like, and like the thing is, it's not like it's her first tour here. Like she was here, I think I read an article like 2018. And I don't remember all this stuff happening then. It's not like has she gotten bigger? Because I think Taylor Swift's been pretty big for a decade. So it's crazy how it all started in America when, you know, people were scalping tickets and tickets
it's
have been
16% of the country's population.
crazy.
I'll tell you what, my math's not bad.
Yeah, not bad, yeah.
16% of the country's population was that might be more than the amount that vote. It's just like 16%.
It's crazy.
It doesn't make sense because, like, again, a lot of people are like, well, it'll be boyfriends and husbands trying to get on, but it's like, yeah, but if they're trying to get on, then their missus isn't trying to get on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like what? So both couples were sitting in the line watching. That's even crazier.
Yeah.
If the missus and the dude were both sitting on their phones waiting to get tickets.
Yeah. It all even out. Like, I'm sure there was people that had like 6 tabs up, but like,
Well, they're saying 4 million people.
yeah,
tried.
but there also would have been like a mum trying to book tickets for 4 daughters or something.
So minus, you would minus the numbers
Yeah,
then.
it all evens out.
800,000 were logged in and waiting.
That's crazy. 800,000 people.
That's insane.
That's 10 times what the state of origin is at Sydney.
That's insane. Put it this way, it's 4.4 million people watched the NRL Grand Final at home.
Yes.
And it's free. It's free. 4 million people are, mate, unbelievable. Look,
You know,
full respect to her, though. What an incredible artist.
How like these numbers would be coming in. She'd just be going, fuck, I am a big deal.
Like, it is, but like the fact that she's like, what, in her 10th year, let's just say 10 years into her career. Like pop stars, it's usually 2 or 3 years, see you later, next one up. She's in her 10th year or 12th year.
I think it's closer to 15.
Or like 15th year, let's say 15th year, and she's more hot than ever in regards to like popularity, not like as in looks wise. And you know, she's a pretty girl or whatever. What I'm saying is like pop stars get hot, and then they fall off.
Yeah,
that's what usually happens. She's never been more hectic than she is right now, and she's 15 years deep.
It's utterly
like,
crazy.
Put it this way: what, Eminem's 20 years deep?
Yeah. Just
and
over,
he's not hotter than he's ever been.
Not at all.
He's like nowhere near his heights.
Yeah.
And that's Eminem, one of the GOATs. This is how good Taylor Swift is.
Yeah. Amazing.
So hectic.
And like, what was I going to say? Oh, I just had it. I lost it.
Well, before you get to it, stream NRL live and free on 9 Now. Tonight we have a blockbuster. Storm vs Panthers, then Sunday Arvo, Manly vs Roosters. The biggest games and the best commentary for free. Get on and stream it now on 9 Now. You get your web browser up, boom, the number 9now.com.au. It'll come up. It is so easy to use, and there's so much more content to watch, guys, than just the rugby league. 9 Now. You can also download the app. I was literally using it last night to watch the rugby league. It's super smooth, no issues, no dropouts. It is a fantastic app, and plus the commentary, it is just outstanding.
Especially when, like, last night you got Joey
And Cam Smith.
And it's Cam Smith, yeah.
Like, are you serious?
Oh.
It is heaven. It is heaven. So 9 Now, best commentary, the biggest games. And also, if you've got the choice between watching it somewhere else and watching it on 9 Now, by watching it on 9 Now, you're actually supporting Bloke. That is legitimate because they look at the numbers and they go, you know, the Bloke community has increased our numbers by X amount. We are more than happy to do another deal with you, Kempy. And also, we'll get this talent for you, this talent for you, this talent for you. So watch it on 9 Now if you can, and it is actually an incredibly good product. Also, don't forget, Menulog, the code DWZ, $10 off when you spend $30 or more this week and weekend. Now, segment 4, Zuckerberg versus Musk. If you didn't think we were living in the dystopian future, fucking pull your head in. This is the nail in the coffin. We're in it. We are in it, guys. Like, I know that it doesn't feel like it because it's a slow progress and humans get used to what is around them over a long period of time. But if you, like, went to sleep 20 years ago, woke up now, and you found out that the two world's most powerful billionaires were about to get in a cage match and fight, you would say, I have just woken up in Blade Runner 2024. Oh, yeah. That's what you would say. This shit is fucking crazy, and I don't want to see it.
I don't want, I mean, but there's a lot of people that do want to see it.
Look, no, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But it's like, guys, you're so important to the world right now.
Yeah, I know.
Do we need to see you punching the shit out of each other? Zuckerberg, you run, obviously, Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. Like, shouldn't you be a representation of, like, you know, not doing this shit? And, and like, I'm all for, like, you know, combat with set rules and everything. I love that. But it's a joke to the sport to a degree, even though I don't mind the prize. Anyone can fight. But it's like, surely they're in a position of such immense importance. It's like, does it almost look a bit comical that we're going to see these two guys that can't fight? And I know Mark Zuckerberg trains, but it is going to be embarrassing when we see them fight, like genuinely embarrassing. Like, not embarrassing for their courage, like, fair play to them for having the guts to step in the ring. Anyone that gets in the ring deserves respect. But, like, surely they've got more important things they should be focusing on than a training camp for an MMA fight.
100%. Maybe it's their sense of, you know, I'm a billionaire and I need to tick another thing off. Maybe it's like an ego. Well, it's certainly an ego thing.
But yeah, look, it'll be the most watched fight of all time, I reckon.
But you're right, and like, it will be embarrassing because it just like it was embarrassing for me to catch that high ball. Like, I'm not like, you know what I mean?
But also, they look like kids, fighting because one of them said, "Oh, don't be a coward, don't be a cat."
Yeah,
and he said, "Oh, don't you call me a cat? I'll fight because you called me a cat." That's children shit.
And didn't Elon's one of the mums came in and said, "No, I don't want this to happen."
Mate, it's like, it's honestly playground stuff.
Yeah.
Because one dude said, I'll fight Elon, or Elon said, I'll fight Zuckerberg. Now it's like, well, I can't back down now.
I know.
Because he called me out.
And they're calling each other out on their respective social media platforms as well.
This is a dystopian future. We're talking about two people that dictate the direction of the entire world. Yeah. Seriously. They literally do. Their algorithms dictate the world. And they're about to fight over pride. Like, surely you've pushed past a bit of ego, or like, okay, if you want to fight, why don't you do it in like a private setting?
Yeah.
As in, not against each other. I don't know why they're fighting each other, but like, have a proper, you know, fight with just people and get that out of your system in a really private setting. Look, in saying that, I'm always of the mind, consenting adults can do whatever the hell they want. As long as it's not hurting themselves, as in not hurting anyone else, then obviously they can do whatever they want, but it's like not something that I'm like, wow, how cool, they're going to fight each other. It's oh my God.
Surely no one thinks
train
it's cool.
wreck kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be funny. It'll be hilarious.
Funny, yeah.
But a very straight, like, we have entered the matrix when we watch this. Like, we are in this bizarro world where these people that have been they're so wealthy, more wealthy than any people have been ever in the history of mankind, and they're punching on in a ring. Oh, in an octagon, sorry. Yeah. Super, super strange times. But
I see why Dana White wants to do it, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolute dollars for him.
But you know what? I'm a scumbag like everyone else because I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. Bloody oath, I'll watch it.
My principles won't stop me from watching it. Even though, look, I'm being a bit facetious. Like, I don't really care that much. Like, I'm not sitting here saying the whole world's going to end if they fight and they've got to be role models or whatever. But I don't know. Is it a good look as a CEO to be calling people out over Twitter? And we just know that there's going to be trash talk back and forth.
Yeah.
Maybe they should both like create AIs to trash talk each other.
That'd be smart. Maybe they should fight in the metaverse.
They should fight. Well, no, actually, that's owned by Zuckerberg.
Zuck.
So
So
Elon
Elon's
do
not
that.
allowed in.
No. And it's funny because like, so I think, did Elon say it? Yeah, Elon said it first, I'm pretty sure. And then Zuck replied on Instagram, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which
think
is
that's right.
so weird. Like the fact that they're like, I'm not going to go on your platform to say it.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like it's this little kid. Anyway, it's just, if you didn't think we're in a dystopian, we live in the dystopian future. Billionaires fighting and we're all going to watch it.
Yeah.
Because we can't help ourselves.
Yeah.
We're all pieces of shit. We're all just pieces of shit walking around, slave to content.
Bloody oath, we're a slave to content.
We are slave, and you're so like being a slave to content. It's so bizarre because like content is just storytelling.
Yeah.
So like think about when we sit there and go, okay, I want to watch this movie or I want to watch that movie, and you're really keen to watch it. Think about 200,000 years ago, humans that not that less evolved than us in regards to they're essentially as intelligent. Now we've obviously over the hundreds of thousands of years, we've built our intelligence on top of the people that come before us. That's like when these people and I've been guilty of it too. They look 1,000 years ago. They think, oh, those people must have been way less smart than us. It's actually not the case at all. They were just as intelligent. They just didn't have history history's knowledge.
Yeah.
Like we do. So, for example, in 1,000 years, they'll look back at us and say, they would have been stupid. But it's like, no, it's just time has built up knowledge that we get to access.
Yeah.
What if we all woke up tomorrow and we lost our memories, and also we didn't have any textbooks, any USBs? Like most of us wouldn't know, we're not Einstein. We wouldn't find out the theory of bloody relativity or whatever, E = mc squared. Like we wouldn't find, like that would take time to develop, like on top of another person's knowledge. Like Einstein, he's standing on the legs of, on the backs and shoulders of people before him. And so imagine back in the day where their excitement was such and such, like, Bob, we'll call him Bob.
Yep.
He's the clan storyteller. So they work all day, they pick their cherries, they go out, they hunt animals, and then they're like, all right, now it's time to sit around the campfire and tell stories.
Yeah, that's their Netflix.
And that's why I always knew podcasting would work, because that's all this is. Sitting around a campfire and listening to people talk. It's the oldest form of entertainment in the world, and it will go on for infinite because we love that shit.
It's a great point, because when you're around a campfire and they're telling a story, you feel like you're part of that story. And then when you got, say, what's another podcast? Hamish and Andy. Say you got Hamish and Andy in your ear. You think you're a part of them.
Yeah, well, you're part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Your mind is creating the image that it needs to create. The story, if they're good at storytelling, they can paint the picture for you. So, like watching a movie, it's just it's directors and producers and writers creating that story for you in a format that is different, but it is still just storytelling. It's just content. So, like content creators back in the day, they were just people sitting around the fire.
Yeah, true.
They didn't get called. They didn't get bagged. Influencers was Bob.
With his guitar.
Not even his guitar.
Yeah.
He had his little bongos or something.
Yeah, true.
He was like, he had 2 sticks and was just playing music in front of the boys and the girls. But yeah, it's so weird how like that would have been their content. Like hearing their elders, and we take all the jokes aside, hearing their elders tell the stories of, the first time, like I'm not a religious guy, but the first time where like, and I've always kind of been like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Like in regards to like certain religions and whatnot. Like it just didn't make sense to me from a very young age. I reckon 14, 15, very, very young age. A lot of things just didn't add up. And so for my whole life, I've always been like, I respect it. And I do think it brings a lot of good to people's lives, religion and all that kind of stuff. But I don't understand how it can be believed from my perspective. The first time I ever was like, you know what? I get it. I get why we can think like that. Is we're in Queenstown and we were on this like cruise, Milford Sands or something like that. And we were cruising through this incredible like mountains and ocean and everything. And I was like, oh, now I understand why our ancestors 200,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, worshipped the sun or worshipped the hills or worshipped animals,
okay.
because of the awe that it felt like this can't be real, like this can't be something that is just here. Something amazing had to put it here because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And that was the first time where I was like, you know, we look at like the Aztecs or whatever, like worshipping sun gods and that. To us, it's like, oh, come on, worshipping the sun? Like what? But from in their perspective, without all the knowledge that we've obviously built up, like it's this huge ball in the sky that whenever we see it, it keeps us warm. Like trees, plants, everything grows from it. And it just seems to be in the sky when it like all the time or whatever. The moon, wind, water, this crazy product, like this crazy chemical that it's life. It's a life giver. Like all of these different things. So like that's when I fully was like, and it was only recent. That was like 4 years ago where I was like, wow, I get it now. I get why people can feel the beauty of religion. As I said, I'm not religious myself, but I understand. That was the first time I understood the feeling of there's something greater than me.
Yeah, I've never ever thought of it like that, and that really, I like fully understand. But I've never had that thought before, ever.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like we look back on, like there's been thousands of religions that have come and gone, but like were they that silly to believe that? No way. Like think about how bizarre this world is.
Yeah, I know.
Like we're a rock flying through space that's infinite. Think about the idea of infinity. It is fucking scary. And I promise you haven't thought about it the way I thought about it. If infinity is real, let's say it's a real thing, it exists. Do you think it, like, for example, if I say infinity, you go, oh yeah, that exists. But think about if it actually does exist.
Yeah.
The idea of infinity. That means that right now, everything that can and will or has possibly happening is happening right now. So, for example, we're having this conversation infinite times over in an infinite times different ways. One word's changed. The whole conversation's changed. A different person is sitting there. If infinity is a real thing, that means that everything that can happen is happening right now at this very second and for every second for all of time.
I don't know what to say.
Well, fuck. We'll leave it like that. I'll leave it. Boys, girls, think about that over the weekend, all right?
Oh, my God.
Also, there's different levels of infinity as well. There's like different ways you count. You can count to infinity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can count to infinity 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2. You can count to, 1/3.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The only way I can resonate with that is by watching Rick and Morty when there's a million or infinite dimensions.
Yeah, I haven't watched that. So
you'd love that.
We'll just leave you with that, guys. That beautiful, like, look, is this a rugby league show? Maybe. But maybe rugby league needs to think more about infinity. Maybe there's a world where New South Wales don't get beaten in this series. As a matter of fact, there's infinite worlds.
While we're on that, the closest I've come to deep thinking about that, and it's definitely not that deep, is I've watched a couple of Neil deGrasse Tyson docos or whatever, and just the concept of time and how, like, it's something like if we had a calendar year of like the entire existence, humans have been alive for like 4 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and our minds can't grasp that time because we come and go so quickly. This is when I was quite young that this blew my mind. It's quite obvious now as you get older. Imagine a world. So obviously light travels at, I don't know, 3 Ks a second, whatever it is, whatever that is. So like when they say like that's 5 light years away, that means obviously the light takes 5 years to get to you. So when you look up in the sky and you see a star, that star could have died 100 years ago.
Yeah, that's wild.
So it doesn't actually exist, but we're looking at it.
Yeah.
But it actually doesn't exist. Now, take it even further. Imagine you had a telescope and you could go 2,000 or let's say 2,500 years, light years away, and you could look back in on Earth. You would actually see Jesus walking around.
Oh my God. That is so fucked up.
That's so weird.
It's so weird.
That's so weird.
Wow.
So like there's stars in the sky right now that we're looking at them.
Yeah.
They literally don't
exist.
exist because light travels at the speed it travels at.
That is just so wildly fascinating.
It blows my mind that you could see something that It's happening, but it's already happened. But you're watching it.
Yeah.
So it's real, but is it real? Crazy. Anyway, there you go, guys. I'll go and fuck myself.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.